Hi, everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terrence Gardino. The week begins on Monday, July the 5th. And on Friday, July the 9th, is going to be a new moon, which we have, of course, every month. But the week prior to the new moon is the week of winding down the lessons from the previous new moon, or it's this bringing closure, wrapping up, letting go. The point is, overall, the energy is winding down, and after Friday, with the new moon, now a new focus is winding up. So you don't want to be starting any significant new projects this week, because the energy is winding down. Monday, the moon is going to be void of course, which I mention every week, when the moon is no longer making any aspects to other planets while it's transiting through its sign. So the energy is kind of flat, it's unproductive. You certainly wouldn't want to make any important new decisions, because there's just not enough energy to manifest those goals. Now, the moon will be void of course in the sign of Taurus, 9:57 a.m. Pacific time to 6:24 p.m. Pacific time, at which point the moon goes into Gemini. So it's Monday, the first work week, day of the week for most people. But with the moon void, of course, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep with the routine, the old business. But especially because it's prior to the new moon and the moon is void, of course, you definitely wouldn't want to do anything new. But the sun is also in harmony with Uranus. Uranus can rule technology, innovation, shaking things up, thinking out of the box. It's a day to put some fresh eyes on old business, not new business. So take what you've been doing, personally, professionally, and bring a new approach to it. Maybe get, how to involve technology more in a new, unique way to help what you've been doing. On Tuesday, the moon continues in Gemini. Gemini, there's that public tone of wanting to network and connect and talk and and a lot of mental stimulation. The moon will be in harmony with pleasure-seeking Venus from about 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. Great for going out to dinner, hanging with friends and loved ones, feeling really social. But Venus is going to be in opposition to Saturn, which happens once a year. Saturn is the reality check, the taskmaster. So with this Venus opposite Saturn, opposites interacting with others, relationships will be tested. But because the moon is favorable with Venus, the planet of love and harmony, I think for most people that Venus-Saturn most of the day is about testing relationships, but then the moon-Venus is coming to a compromise. So this is a good day to work on your relationships. Venus is a minor planet of money. Saturn is the business planet. This could also be a very favorable day to get really serious and focused about business, but old business, not new business just yet. On Wednesday, the moon continues in flexible, adaptable Gemini. Geminis wants to walk and talk and chew gum all at the same time. It's very witty, conversational energy. But the moon will be in a difficult angle to nebulous, foggy Neptune around 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. That could be being distracted, being confused. Communications may be, so really ripe for misunderstandings. Then on Thursday, the moon will be void, of course, that flat, unproductive energy. But it's going to start on Wednesday at 9:20 p.m. Pacific time through Thursday, 6:51 a.m. Pacific time. So the first part of the day on Thursday, the moon is void, of course. And it's the day before the new moon. So it's the darkest phase of the moon. This is the best time for reflection. Review what's going on in the past month or in your whole childhood, since childhood. Now, with all that reflecting going on, Venus, pleasure-seeking Venus, is going to be triggering surprising Uranus. This could be you could hear from some loved one or a dear friend from your past very unexpectedly. It could also be an unexpected infatuation. It is good for hanging out with friends. As we get to the new moon on Friday the 9th, it's in the sign of Cancer. Wherever Cancer falls in your chart, that's where your attention will be most drawn to for the next several weeks. In general, Cancer is more domestic, staying closer to home, maybe, enjoying the family. Or you could be doing a lot of entertaining, but with family, big family reunion, wedding, etc., holiday, or throwing a party or a big backyard barbecue party if you're in the northern latitudes and you have a backyard, because that Cancer is all about home and family. Saturday, the moon is going to go void, of course, from 9:10 a.m. to 5:21 p.m. Good day to just relax. However, between 9 and 11 a.m. on Saturday Pacific time, the moon, the emotional moon, will be confronting dark Pluto. So there might be some really intense emotional mood swings, power struggles, but then the moon is void. So it's just, keep on track. Don't do anything new. But then at 5:21 p.m., the moon goes into Leo. Leo is the sign of entertainment and romance and drama. It's extroverted energy. It's the perfect sign to begin a Saturday night. And that's 5:21 p.m. Pacific time, still early in the day. But even if you're on the East Coast of the United States, it's only 8:21 p.m. So maybe the evening starts slow at dinner and then picks up by going out dancing and partying later. Maybe you don't get started. As an example, you could have dinner plans or party plans at 8 o'clock. And either the guests don't show up or you don't show up until after 8:21 p.m. And then all the partying and the excitement and the romance can get going. Sunday, the moon continues in outgoing Leo, but Mercury, discerning Mercury, communication Mercury, is going into Cancer. Now, Mercury had been in Gemini since the beginning of May. That's a long time, over 2 months. This time, Mercury will go into more emotional, domestic Cancer for several weeks. But your mind will be more subjective, more emotional with Mercury in Cancer. But in the later part of the day on Sunday, the moon will be in opposition to Saturn. You might be feeling lonely, or you might be feeling emotionally frustrated. from about 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. And then with all that feeling of restrictedness or separation, the moon will then trigger Uranus, surprising Uranus from 7 to 9 p.m. So for most of you, this is going to be an experience of you're feeling lonely, you're feeling stuck in the late afternoon Pacific time. And then the moon hits Uranus and you get a phone call, something happens, and you get out of your rut. And now the excitement comes back, especially with the moon in Leo. Before I sign off, I want to remind you I'm available for a one-question offer for a nominal fee. To request it, go to the home page of Astrology Answers, click on the tab that says Advisors, and then scroll down until you find my name and click on my name in order for your question. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.